Bryant coming off a overtime victory over Princeton last week, 16-13. They're going to face a nationally ranked opponent this week at Rhode Island. So, Coach, just some thoughts on your team, and then we'll go into some questions.
Sure. No, I felt that our kids showed a tremendous amount of grit in some pretty lousy weather down there in New Jersey this last weekend. We saw a stat yesterday. I think 10 of our last 15 games have been decided by one score, and I can pretty much tell you I know the outcomes of those one-score games, and we're not happy with it. But Saturday was a big step in the right direction. Kids showed a tremendous amount of grit, and they beat a very, very good Princeton football team. I think this was their first non-conference loss in the last 5 or 6 years. So really excited for that. That's a step in the right direction. But we knew, that the celebration, I don't think even lasted till 10 o'clock that night. We know what we've got this weekend. We know what hill we've got to climb in a very good Rhode Island team again on the road.
Thanks, Coach. We'll go to some questions. Nick, if you got questions, feel free to go ahead and unmute yourself and ask away.
Okay. Thanks, Kyle. Morning, Chris. How are you?
Hey, Nick.
What's happening? Same old?
Same old.
Same old. That's good.
Same old Tuesday morning.
Well, you just sort of mentioned it, battling the elements down there in New Jersey. But when you've had a couple of days to look back at the tape, what impressed you the most about your team's effort in the victory?
Well, it's really tough when you look at 9 or 10 of the 15 games, and we've won 2, I think, 2 or 3 of those games that come down to one score. It's really tough when you find yourself in that position yet again. And watching their attitude, they never gave up. Even when we had a chance to really we didn't have to go to overtime, but even though we had to settle for a field goal at the end of the fourth quarter to tie the ball game instead of going for the win. We found ourselves in the same situation, struggled a little bit in the first overtime with getting the ball closer to the goal line, and had to settle for a field goal. And here we are, 3rd and 1, and I think at the 14-yard line or something like that. And they try a quarterback sneak and don't get it. That kind of gave us a little bit of juice. But then, the second time they tried it, and we had great push inside. And I think we knocked the center back into the quarterback and ended up dropping the ball. And you just saw just a little bit of relief from these kids that, here we are, back is against the wall again late in the ball game. This time they came out on top, and it was good. It was great for them to see some reward for their grit, for their hard work. I think we showed, not to get too wordy or windy here, but I think we've shown that we're going to compete with anybody, and that's why the games are one-score ball games that late in the ball game. It's finding the way to finish, finding the way to win the ball game, and it was really good to see them for the kids, me too, and the coaches to get a little relief there.
And, we talked about the conditions, obviously, a couple of minutes ago. The fact that Ethan gets co-special teams player of the week, on any week, when he kicks well, I'm sure that's a great thing. But particularly in a game like this, when the conditions are what they are, how impressive is it that, you were able to lean on him in such a tight ball game?
Well, he has struggled early in the season here, uncharacteristic of Ethan Getman. He missed 1 field goal the entire season last year, and it was blocked against Charleston Southern. So this year he's missed 2 or 3, and I think including an extra point. And that's very uncharacteristic of him. And it was great to see him show poise and composure. We haven't lost our faith by any means. We quarterback knows, and we coach knowing that we get that ball inside the 35. We got a great shot to put points on the board. So to see him, and to be honest with you, Jimmy O'Brien, I mean, kicking a wet ball is one thing, but catching it from a snap when you've got 1.2, 1.1 seconds to catch it and put it down, that's pretty tough. And Jimmy did a great job.
And then last one for me, we talk about it as, the viewers and the spectators and whatnot in the state, but sort of for you, the three teams, the three programs in the state playing each other, you know, it's great, obviously, for us to watch because we see all these programs. But for you, when you look at it and you say, you know, we get to play URI, we get to play Brown, what's the benefit for you? What's the biggest benefit, I guess?
Well, the biggest benefit is you look for those games that you're going to have a lot of fans at. And to my understanding, I think the Rhode Island game's already sold out. So yeah, this is a great in-state game, as we do with Brown. And it's just, you know, they're home games, even though they're away, I guess. You know, the Brown game, I think it takes us, the commute takes us 12 minutes. And I think the Rhode Island game, it'll take us 25 or 27, or depends who I got driving the bus. But, you know, just the in-state deal. And, you know, when it comes to the level, you know, Bryant's been a little bit late to the party. You know, we were Division II for all those years. And, you know, we've been Division I now for 13, 14 years. And it's just a great opportunity to play local teams and get the state of Rhode Island excited about its college football.
Thank you, Chris. I tried to ask that in a way that wasn't how I ask it every year, but are you excited to play URI? So I appreciate the answer.
We are.
Thank you.
Coach, what does URI do good? And they've obviously played some tough teams to start out the year.
Well, they're very similar defensively to Princeton. You know, they got us quite a lot last year in pressure game. So we've had to try to come up with some answers for that. Princeton, ironically, last year we struggled throwing the football when it came to, I think they had 9, 10 sacks on us last year, which we've spent the offseason trying to correct. And ironically, Princeton came out with at least 75% of the blitz patterns that Rhode Island got against us last year, and Princeton doesn't run those blitzes. They you can tell on film. As soon as I saw it, I recognized the pattern, and sure enough, film showed Princeton hadn't shown those pattern blitzes all year. So, you know, Rhode Island is going to be very tough. I think this game is going to be won on first and second down. If we get ourselves in the third down and medium to long, we're asking for trouble. And so we're going to have to do our diligence on first and second down. We're going to have to throw the ball down the field and get the ball to be able to throw them down the field. Offensively, Murph does a great job. He puts a lot of guys in conflict, and they've got some pretty good athletes. I mean, they're athletically, there's a reason why they're nationally ranked, and they've got some athletes that if you guys that are in conflict don't pick the right one, it could be a big play.
Obviously, with the locale and that's one thing why you're playing them. But what's it when you play a team with a number in front of them? What is that? Is there any extra added that, especially if you win? But you use that as a motivator, like this team's ranked, they got respect. We want to beat them and be ranked.
Well, I think as this program continues to grow, again, like I said, we were Division II just over a decade ago, and even for the first 12 years of our Division I life, we were still a limited scholarship NEC conference school. We still don't have the level of the Big South and OVC. We don't have the level of scholarships that the teams in that conference has, and when we play a CAA team that puts in 5 teams a year to the playoffs, you know, it's a challenge and it's a good benchmark for us. You know, I know we're going to compete. You know, the one thing I don't have to worry about is the effort, and I know we're going to compete. But yeah, you know, I think we got to get up for this game more than they do, to be honest.
And what can we do to get some good weather for you for a change for a game?
You know, even when you send me to the desert week 1, it rains the entire time I'm there. I don't know what I thought when I moved up here from Miami, I was done with hurricanes, and you know, we got dumped on there in the first one, 2-hour rain delay with LIU, and this last weekend we changed the game time. We outsmarted ourselves, right? So they changed the game time 3:30 when the weather was actually nicer late in the game to right in the middle of the rainstorm. And then all we did is get on a bus and come up here to home to Rhode Island. And all that dang thing has done is come up north and sat on us ever since. I'm getting rained on by the same damn cloud now for 4 straight days. So and raining right, you know, supposed to rain here again. Yeah, I'd like to get some crisp weather for once. And I've seen two different reports. Right now it's 50-50.
Well, we'll be hoping for dry conditions for you. So thanks for your time this morning. Best of luck, and we'll talk to you next Tuesday.
All right, thanks, man.